just keep on pushing, because I didn't start out with all this stuff. I started out with nothing. So you just got to keep pushing, got to keep going.
But yeah, like, you know, people will tell you like, hey, cut it out, you know, go get a 9 to 5. If it's something you love, like chase that, because, you know, we got a finite, you know, years on this world. Like, you know, do what you love, what's gonna make you happy.
What is good, YouTube? My name is Lamar Griffin. I'm a creative based out of Denver, Colorado. If you're new to my channel, I appreciate you stopping by and watching this video. Hopefully you stick around. If you're a returning subscriber, I appreciate you so much. We are past 1,000 subscribers and we're steadily growing, climbing every single day. I keep getting more subs. I keep getting more love, and I appreciate you guys. And I am going to keep putting out videos for you guys like this one I'm doing right now. So I am currently working on my first documentary film. It's been the hardest project I've ever had to do in my entire life, from learning about the documentary space to learning how to light an interview properly, audio for the interview, color, sound treatment. There's just so many different things that go into making a real documentary. So I want to give a big shout out to my guy, Mark Bone. I am a member in his documentary course. That thing has helped me out greatly, but I'm just a sponge to knowledge. So anything that I can find on the internet to learn how to help me in my journey to become a documentary filmmaker, I'm always gonna do that. But I definitely want to give a shout out to Mark Bone, because I'm in his class, and if you're thinking about picking that class up, you should definitely do it because it's worth it. But with that being said, the documentary film has been taking up a lot of my time. That is my main priority. My main focus is finishing my film, making my client proud, just trying to tell his story and her story to the best of my abilities as a filmmaker, and I take that very seriously. So that's why I've been short on some of the YouTube episodes, but that's no excuse. I need to do a better job with time management, which is why I'm right here right now telling you guys some very, very exciting news. When I'm not working on the documentary film, which I won't be tomorrow, I'm doing my normal Lamar Griffin Films work. Weddings. I have not shot a wedding in, man, it's been a while. I think I lost about $10,000 to $15,000 worth of weddings when COVID hit, and I don't know, maybe that's not a lot to some filmmakers, but for me as a solo entrepreneur, small business, that was a pretty big hit for me when COVID first happened, and a lot of my weddings were, they just didn't happen. So I gave the deposits back to my brides because that's the right thing to do, and I didn't shoot those weddings. So they've been rebooked, some of them have, but just things happen, and now I'm about to shoot my first wedding in a while. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about on this video is something that I'm really excited about in my personal life, and I also want to share with you guys. My wife will be joining me as my second shooter. Now, before you guys start thinking anything, this is not my wife's first time shooting with me at a wedding. In fact, me and my wife shot a wedding together as first and second shooter in Hawaii before, but that was a long time ago. But just to let you guys know, this isn't my wife's first time, but she is still learning and still figuring out everything with cameras and settings. So I'm super excited to have her with me, because one day we hope that me and her can, shoot weddings together for a living. So I've been shooting weddings for about 5 years, so I have a lot of experience in weddings. So tomorrow when we go to the wedding, I'm excited to have my wife there as my partner and my partner. I don't know, as my partner and my partner. I don't know, but I'm super excited to have my wife there. She's creatively, she is a genius, and I'm not just saying that because she's my wife. She's one of the smartest people I know. She is really good with the camera. She's really good with the angles. The only thing I'm going to have to help her with is what most people need help with in the beginning. Same thing I struggle with is just settings, white balance, shooting at the right shutter speed at the right time. So it's a wedding, so of course you guys know I won't be able to do that every single moment, because I'm focused on filming the wedding and making the best wedding film possible. But my wife's a pretty smart individual, so long as I show her a couple things, I think she'll be able to navigate her way around the camera. And of course, we've practiced leading up to this, so I'm super excited because tomorrow should be an exciting day. It's a wedding. I take weddings very seriously. I love weddings. I shot weddings before I shot sports, so weddings is something that I plan on always doing. And if you didn't know, I'm the leading proposal specialist in Colorado. Ask somebody about it. I love shooting wedding proposals. That is like one of my favorite types of photography and videography to do in the world is proposals. So, it's just a little something I want to share with y'all. All right, so the moment you guys have been waiting on, I want to show you guys my wedding kit and kind of talk about why I'm using this stuff and the stuff that I used before I got this, because if you see the gear that I'm about to show you now, if you stick around long enough on my YouTube channel, you'll know that I started out with pretty much nothing. Like when I say started from the bottom, like I really started from the bottom, like no bull. Can you cuss on YouTube? I don't even know. I started from the bottom, no BS. So everything I have now, I've had to work for, had to grind for. You know, a lot of struggle went into getting some of the gear that you guys are about to see. So please do not think when you see this gear that it's just like, oh, this guy has all this gear. And no, that's not the case. I do have a lot of gear now because I've acquired gear over several years of doing this. You know, hopefully you get better gear if you do this for as long as I've done it, 6-7 years. But that, I don't even want to say gear doesn't matter, because that's bull. Can you cuss? That's bullshit. Gear does matter. It definitely matters. But if you have the right lighting, if you know your camera, you guys can get the same images, the same quality out of your tools, and you might have the same thing as me if you know what you're doing with your camera. Does having, you know, a Sony FX3 or a Sony A1 help? Yeah, it definitely helps. It's like having a better tool for a job. But that is not what's going to make, you know, editing this wedding special and the moments that me and my wife are going to capture tomorrow. Hopefully we can do that, because we're looking for those special moments in the wedding, and we have the cameras to capture them, whether it's in regular speed or slow-mo. I don't want to talk you guys here off. I just want to say that to let you guys know that it does matter what camera gear you got, but you can create with what you have. And I'm proof of that, because I started out with a 6300 shooting weddings, and that's all I had for about 2 years. So now, fast forward, you know, 4 years, I'm in a totally different space. I got a couple different cameras, and I just been shooting Sony for so long. I'm trying to keep, as Sony keeps growing and evolving, I want to keep growing and evolving. So hopefully I can keep doing that. But let me show you guys the setup of what I'm rocking with, and then I'll let you guys get out of here. I'm gonna put the mic down. Let's set it. Okay, that did not work out how I thought it was gonna work out. We're gonna clip that. We're just gonna rock with it. We're just gonna keep it there. All right. So first and foremost, my favorite lens, my second favorite lens, because the newest lens that I just bought is my favorite. This is the Sony 85mm 1.8. Love this lens. Being able to shoot at 1.8 and having that 85mm focal range. The bokeh is always so nice. Bokeh, I don't know how you say it. This is an amazing lens to have on wedding day. Pretty sure that's going to be on the camera a lot during the first dances. So I started off with the Tamron 17-28 and the 28-75. I had those lenses for a long time, but once I was able to upgrade to the Sony G Master Glass, I just, you know, I saved up money and steadily put money away so that I could upgrade, and I don't regret it. This is an amazing lens, 2.8 G Master. It just works with all my cameras. So it's a wide angle. It's a wedding. If you're going to shoot a wedding, I suggest you have a wide angle. You do not need the Sony 2.8 G Master. You can get the Tamron. You can get the Sigma 14-28. You have options. So we got the 85, 16-35. All right, so if you shoot Sony and you're looking to get into the G Master line and you're thinking about what should be your first G Master lens, if you've saved up, because like I said, you got to save up for these lenses unless you just have all this money to go spend. I saved up for most of these lenses. This is actually used. I'm a big, I never lie on this channel. I buy a lot of stuff used. Most of this stuff, the 85 was used. This 24 was used. I got the 16-35 new. But most of this stuff is used if I can. I love buying used stuff because it's just cheaper, and I get it from lensauthority.com. So I always know it's going to be good quality. But this lens right now, I'm pretty sure if you go to Lens Authority right now, the 24 G Master used is like $950. So if you think about that compared to what retail is, this is an amazing lens. And at 1.4 at 24, everything looks amazing. Throw this on the gimbal. You can shoot in low light, like at the reception. We'll probably have this lens on during the reception. So it's just good to have that 24 in the bag, and having that aperture of 1.4 doesn't hurt at all. This is currently my favorite lens in the entire world. This is the Sony 50mm 1.2 G Master lens. Soon as I heard this lens was announced, I knew I had to have it, just because the aperture, that 50mm focal range is something that when I first started out with my Sony 6300, I had the kit lens, which is a 16 to 50. So I was so used to shooting 50. And then once I saved up money, I bought the Sony 50 millimeter, the one for like, I think it's like $199. I had that for like 2 years. So to be able to get my hands on the Sony 50 millimeter 1.2 G Master, this lens has been more than what I could have hoped for. The price tag is extremely high, and I had to buy this lens new, but it's worth it. It's worth every penny for the clients and the work that I'm doing. And if you ever get a chance to shoot this lens, I highly recommend it. This is going to be my first time using the 51.2 at a wedding, so I'm super excited to see what it looks like with my bride and the groom and the wedding party. And my wife will be able to shoot this a lot tomorrow too. So 51.2, my favorite lens in the world right now. Then last but not least, his and hers for me and my wife, I have the Sony G Master 2.8 used. I bought this at a really, really good price off of Lens Authority. This isn't like a paid ad or sponsored thing. I don't even know if I have enough subscribers to anyone want to pay me for anything, but I do have a promo code at lensrentals.com that you guys can use. I'll leave that down in the link. The promo code literally just saves you guys money if you want to rent gear, and I rent gear all the time. But this I bought on Lens Authority, which is Lens Rentals' sister site where they sell used gear. I've had this for about a year now, used, and it works perfect. It's great. And I got it for, I think, $1,200 under retail. So this was an amazing value for me. But once again, if you can buy it used and you can buy it from a source you trust, I would do it. I'm a big I'm a big go buy that thing used guy, if that even makes sense. But I just, if you're on a budget, which I'm always on a budget, you would think all this glass is brand new. And as you guys can see, 1, 2, 3 of these lenses are used. So, and I don't even own this lens. This is the Sony f4 70-200. This was my first 70-200. I sold this lens a while back ago when I got my A9, and I don't even know what lens I replaced it with, but I had this, I used to own this lens, but I don't anymore. I rented it for the wedding so that my wife can use it, and if she likes the 70-200 f4, then maybe I'll buy it for her or try to figure it out, because once again, my wife's just getting started. Hopefully we can do this long term. And when you're running a photography and videography business, you might need more than one 70-200 if you're going to shoot a wedding. So we got the f4 here. We got the 2.8. I'll be using the 2.8. My wife will be using the f4. The wedding is outside, so the available light should be, just fine for the f4. We got ND filters for these guys, which I don't know where that's at, but we got NDs for all the lenses because the wedding's outside. Indoors, of course, will be all right. And then last but not least, so let's put these here. Put those there. All right, last but not least, the camera bodies. I will be rocking tomorrow for the first time at a wedding, the Sony FX3. I love this thing. It works. It works. It's a good camera. As you guys know, I'm shooting a documentary, so the reason I have the FX3 is to match with my A7S III, and I've pretty much been shooting my entire documentary on this camera, but we're not talking about the documentary right now. We're talking about the wedding tomorrow. So FX3, probably won't use the top handle. I'm really not a big fan of the top handle, but I can explain that why later, but just my hands aren't that big, but I'm not a fan of the top handle, but I love that they sent it, and it's definitely useful, but I'm not a fan of it. Then my wife will be using, please do not, I don't want the comment section to go crazy or whatever, but my wife will be using the Sony A1. This camera, if you go back and watch my previous video, I had a long rant about why I needed to buy this camera or why this camera made sense for what I do. This is pretty much me replacing my A9, my Sony A9, that changed my entire life that I'm actually filming on right now. I have not sold my Sony A9, but it is for sale if you guys want to buy it. Maybe. I don't know. I just haven't had the heart to sell my Sony A9, which I bought used. You guys are going to hear that a lot on this channel. I bought my Sony A9 used. I'm still using it right now to film this YouTube video. Sometimes buying used gear works out. But I always wanted to replace my A9. The A9 II didn't have enough upgrades to make me switch out from my A9. As soon as the A1 was released, I had already had money saved up. As soon as I got my A9, 3-4 years ago, I was already saving money to buy, whatever the upgrade from that was. And then that was the A9 II. I didn't want to buy that because I was like, there's going to be something better than that. The A9 II is an amazing camera, but it didn't have enough features to take me away from my A9. Plus, I just couldn't afford it at the time. So fast forward to when the A1 drops, I've been saving for about 2 years, had a little bit saved up, when it got the A1, and to be truthfully with you guys, I'm a working professional. I've already made half the money back that this camera costs with this camera just because of what it can do photo, video wise. And I'm just excited. My wife will have a good camera tomorrow to use. We're doing video. The whole Sony ecosystem from the FX3 to the A1 to the A9, A7S3, they all just tie in together. So no matter what camera she ends up wanting to buy, hopefully it's the A7S or the A7 IV whenever that comes out. I'd love to get that camera for my wife for that to be her main A camera. Whatever camera you decide to use, if you're in that Sony family, it's gonna work for you. Do you need a Sony A1 to shoot weddings? No. You guys know that. Like I'm not gonna bullshit you. You don't need an A1. You don't need an FX3. You can shoot it. I shot most of my weddings with the Sony A9, the camera that I'm filming on right now. Most of my wedding videos I shot with the Sony A9, and that was for 2 years straight. So whatever tool you have, you got to use that. But when you do get the chance to do this for a living, this is how I feed my family. I do get to work part-time for the NFL. I do work with a lot of different clients and a lot of different brands. This camera just made sense for me for what I'm doing right now. And once again, I use this camera a lot in my documentary film I'm making. Like, I don't know where my documentary is going to go. Hopefully it goes to network. Hopefully it goes to broadcast. But I'm shooting a full-on documentary with these cameras, these small mirrorless DSLR cameras. I'm usually shooting ProRes RAW just to be safe, but the things that these cameras can do is amazing. But, oh shit, was I out of focus that whole time? Hopefully I was not out of focus that whole time. I probably was. I have no clue. I just looked at the monitor and saw that I was out of focus. So hopefully I wasn't out of focus that entire time. I probably was, but whatever. Most wedding filmmakers, actually, let me take that back. Some wedding filmmakers only film weddings. Some photographers only do a certain type of photography. I like to look at myself as kind of just, like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm a creative. I do photo, I do video. I'm directing a documentary. I also shoot wedding films, also edit, also do photography, also do sports, commercials, real estate. I like doing creative things, and I try to do those at the highest level that I can do for my clients that are paying me. So don't let anyone put you in a box. That was kind of a little side rant, but just don't let anyone tell you the type of work that you can and can't do, because if you want to do it, then you should, because life's short and you should do everything you want to do. But I just wanted to hop on a YouTube video because I missed you guys. I needed to put a video out. I'm super excited to be working with my wife tomorrow at this wedding. And hopefully we can kill it. I know I'm going to be locked in. I take weddings very seriously, like I said before. And I haven't shot one in a while, so I'm overly focused. I'm overly analyzing everything. I just talked to the bride right before I made this video, and I'm locked in. Audio-wise, I didn't show you guys any of the audio kit, but I have the Tentacle Sync Track E's. I have 2 of those. I'm gonna have the Zoom F6 plugged into the DJ board, and then I'll have shotgun mics on top of the camera. So audio-wise, I got 2-3 options so that we have redundancy and backup. But if you guys like this video, please let me know. I just wanted to talk to you guys, show you my wedding kit, pretty much tell you guys I'm excited to be shooting the wedding with my wife, and then also let you guys know that just keep on pushing, because I didn't start out with all this stuff. I started out with nothing. So you just got to keep pushing, got to keep going. And I got a lot more videos coming up for you guys that are going to be educational, beneficial, and also hopefully just cool to watch. My name's Lamar Griffin. If you're new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Hit that like button if you don't like it. What Gerald Undone be saying? If you dislike the video, hit the dislike button twice. Gerald, I love Gerald Undone. But appreciate you guys watching the video. My name's Lamar Griffin. Peace.